See, here's the competitor shirt.
Oh. All right, welcome to Strong Personalities. This is your host, Yanni Bear. Today, I am here with Elijah Yoder. Did I say that right?
Yep, that's it.
Yes! I don't like butchering people's names.
Yeah.
This past weekend, there was people from Finland, people from Norway, and there was like Jürgen and then Robert Bjerker. Man, try saying that all day and not messing it up. I was super proud of that. Yeah. But today we are here to talk about Pity the Fool. It is a competition in Weatherford, Oklahoma at the Mike Brown Event Center on April 1st. April Fools. What inspired you to have a competition on April Fools? Because I'm just waiting for you to like have people show up and then it's just like a giant barbecue. It's like, I'm just kidding, guys. We're just gonna chill all day.
Well, we're not we may have something up our sleeve for that date, but we just we was actually headed back from Strong Corp Nationals, and we was just spitballing between me and my wife, and she's like, dude, we have to do one on called Pity the Fool. And then I was like, April 1st is on a Saturday this year. And so it all just like fell together just like that. All of a sudden we had a comp date and the name for it already. She did already. And so we just rolled with it and went with the Mr. T look, and that's where it took off.
So what you're saying is that Val's been the MVP so far of putting this together.
Oh, 100%. That's how I get all my cool ideals or my shirt designs. I don't do any of it. I'm just like, all right, whatever, put it together. And
you bounce the ideas off of her too. I like that. Yeah. So earlier on your Instagram, I saw you getting set up for this weekend. And for me, I'm a big fan of the power stairs. You seem to be a big fan of the power stairs too.
Why? Yeah, it's an event that I don't know, just any movement events I kind of care for. It's more of my thing. So I just kind of clicked with me when I started training them, and so I was like, I'm just gonna throw these in the competition. And it's not something you see very often, like in these smaller shows. So it's a big implement. It's a big set of stairs at the store somewhere. Luckily, my gym down here that I train out of just lets me put all my equipment anymore. He's like, whatever you make, just bring down here if you want. So
yeah, because then everybody else gets to use it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's been handy to do that.
Which gym do you train at?
Out of the Dog Pound Fitness out of Thomas, right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's cover some things when it comes to the athletes, because I know this is what they're going to be focused on. Weigh-ins are starting tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Oklahoma Health and Wellness Center, right? Yeah,
it's another gym there in Weatherford. Weatherford's about 20 miles from where I live. And a little bit bigger town, more motels, so I that's why I had holding it over there. But it's another gym there in Weatherford that has been a big part of helping me put stuff together. I was going to hold it there in his gym, but it just didn't work out. So, but yeah, we're going to have it there it's called the Oklahoma Health.
Yeah, it seems like you're all right. So we were talking about how the Oklahoma Health and Wellness Center is originally where you wanted to plan the event. But you moved it up to the Mike Brown Event Center. Congrats on it selling out. I feel like that's something that a lot of competitions aren't able to do. Why did you shoot for that like 60 to 70 cap versus the usual 100-person cap that I see at competitions?
Man, just basically for time. We did that circus show last year. Last year in October, and I think there's like 120 competitors. And for being my first sanctioned show, I was just nervous about being there all night, and I was like, we better just, cap this around. That's still a good number of competitors for me. It's a good. All my classes were filled in the men's division, and I had a lot of women sign up, but so I was like, I'm gonna cap this about 65, and then of course you had your stragglers that come in and, hey, can I sign up? I'm like, all right, so we capped out at 67.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good number. Real quick, people can weigh in on April 1st from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. because then right at 9 a.m. the rules meetings start. I don't expect a lot of people to weigh in that day. I'm usually expecting the super heavyweights to weigh in that day. So,
Yeah.
And that's going to be at the Mike Brown Event Center. And then going from there, let's talk about the events. We were joking around earlier that I found some some consistencies between these events and then what you did at the Arnold's Amateurs show. Am I correct there?
You are 100% correct. I knew with this show going to be right after the Arnold that I wasn't going to have time to build a lot of implements, because with my implements that I built, my meathead must-haves, that I built all these implements, for people. And so I knew I wasn't going to be able to have a lot of time between coming home from the Arnold and my show. So I was like, I'm going to have some implements that I either have or that I'm going to build anyways to train for the Arnold. So I just went ahead and almost all the events that was at the Arnold are what these events are.
You know what? But it also gives athletes that were watching you it gives them an opportunity to be like, all right, I want to see how I would have done at these events, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So out of all these events, let's start it off with the Viking press. Is this going to allow the split jerk?
Yeah. I don't care. Split jerk, push press, split press, whatever press you do, just like the rules they give us on your dip. When you dip on your initial dip, you can't touch the resting bar that the it sits on, or else that will be a no rep. But as long as your feet come back together underneath you, just like any of the pressing events, you just have to come back with your feet together, and that'll count as a rep.
All right. And then we have I think this is one of the events that you weren't able to imitate exactly. We have event 2, which is the 18-inch axle tire deadlift. Why didn't you try to do the Ukrainian deadlift or some form?
Ukrainian? Well, we didn't know that was actually a mystery event. We didn't know that was going to be an event until a week before the Arnold. Yeah, the week before they told us it was Ukrainian. So that one I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew I needed to do some sort of deadlift. So I was with that.
And you still kind of have the audience friendly view with those giant tires.
Yeah, we're not gonna. It says the tire deadlift, but the tires were too heavy that I had. I had some semi tires, and the weight, they're 200 some pounds a piece. So you're looking at a 400-pound deadlift right off the bat. And so I had to go with just my wagon wheels on some crash pads.
Okay. No, that's still a good start.
Down. Yeah, it's still 18-inch, but it just ain't going to be the big, the fancy semi tires or the tires that you like seeing.
Hey, we're going to be seeing wagon wheels at Nationals here in a few months too. So
there may be some correlation with that Nationals too, but
I like how you plan for all the competitions you're going to do and put them inside your competition that you're putting together. All right, one of my favorite events is the Farmers Carry.
I love the Farmers, and so I think that's a staple. Something grip wise is a staple. So the Farmers is just your standard 40-foot down and back. It's a little different what we did at the Arnold, but it's all right. I mean, I still like the down and backs. I don't like what we did at the Arnold. Down the fat back Farmers. You take it down, deadlift it 4 times, and then take it back and deadlift it 4 times. So this one's just a down and back, just maybe running with it.
Yeah, because you're like, just pick one event, right? Like either do Farmers or do deadlifts.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing Farmers, it's not going to be a challenging weight for deadlifters.
Yeah, I mean that this one wouldn't be, but at Arnold it's $325 a hand for your Farmers, for the fatback Farmers. So
so it was a challenge. You're like, it was a challenge. What are you talking about?
It was for me anyway.
All right, and then again, another event that's built for Elijah, the carry and load medley.
Yeah. I've set the load pretty low. I have it's just a 36-inch load. So I for people that are a little nervous about the load, if you can lap it, you can usually load to a 36-inch. So I think that one's going to be a good one for everybody.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of all these moving events. I'm not a big fan of max events. Just because they usually take up a lot of time in competitions. I think they're great for smaller events, but when you have this many people,
once again, that's also why these events were chosen. And the floor of this building is it's an indoor soccer arena, And so I had to be like, I couldn't do an axle overhead. Like the events also did correlate with something that we ain't dropping, like stones or something over bar, that's going to be dropped on this floor. Cause I'm hauling like 35 of them horse stall mats down there, so I got a lot of stall mats to put out. So
we are protecting this floor at all costs.
Yeah. So everything, also the vents had to correlate with something that wasn't dropped a lot, or real heavy.
All right, so we talked about the power stairs. I think I've only seen, in the 3 years I've done strongman, I've only seen it at 3 events: the American Hero Classic, the top tier strength event in New Braunfels, and then now at this event. So I'm excited for those. What do you think? Why does power stairs kind of set itself apart from other strongman events? Because it's like a mini deadlift, it's a mini movement. Like, why is it such a love and hate relationship with a lot of strongman?
Well, because these stairs are 18 inches, in between each step. So it's a high step, and then we're using a 16-inch pin. So if you're not a taller athlete, it takes the full triple extension plus a little to get the edge of the implement up over the step. So I think to be efficient at it, you got to, I think, train it because of the triple extension and then folding the knees in and pushing the weight onto the step. I think it just requires, I think, a little bit of preciseness of, training the triple extension, I think.
Yeah, because I've seen plenty of these in person where the person didn't actually fully extend, and then it just catches the lip, it bounces off, it hits you in the shin or the inside thigh. There's all these bruises, and it's like it's more about being precise than being fast on those, because those, like, the people that usually try to go fast, they'll make a mistake and it costs them.
Yeah, they try to just shrug it. They just try to use their shoulders and shrug it up, and unless you're just super tall, them 18-inch stairs are going to eat you up. You're going to catch you at the lip every time.
Do you have do you apply the 1/3 rule that I've heard other promoters use when it comes to choosing the weights, where they expect a third of their athletes to zero, a third of their athletes to handle the weight, and then a third of the athletes to just dominate?
No, I never heard of that until here recently. And so I think I set this one, I think I set it pretty light for my first sanction show. I set it pretty light, I believe. I've seen some of the people working out, and they're just, some of your not novice, some of my open classes are just destroying the weight, and I'm like, okay, I went way too light. But but then I watched some novice that I thought, I was like, man, this is way too light, and they're struggling with it. So I'm like, okay, so I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be a mixture. I think at my static events, I think I set a little my static events, I set a little light. I should went a little heavier, but we'll see. I mean, it's a learning experience. It'll just first of many to come, hopefully.
Well, one of the cool things that I'm noticing about your athlete registration is you're in the double digits for your novice divisions, which is great because that just means the sport is growing, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's another thing. I said I made a show. I've been doing shows, for 5 years here in town, just a smaller show, nothing sanctioned. And I said it 2 years ago, so heavy. There's everybody was kind of worried. Like, I didn't have a lot of competitors. And so, with this novice division, I think it's going to be better to get a lot of people entered into it.
No, seriously, you did a great job with this, because even all the other divisions, they have at least 4 or 5 people. And obviously we might see some injuries beforehand that people drop out of. But still, man, y'all did a great job on getting enough people for all these. You know what's the most surprising part? That your super heavyweight division has the least amount of athletes.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked at that one. But I'm happy to have the 3. Every class at least has the 3 to make it, to make it a class. So with my men, I had to combine some of the women's classes together. My open women are all competing at one weight.
Seriously, great job with this, man. Makes me really happy. So one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to really successful competitions, it's that the more female athletes that you have, the bigger the audience you're actually going to have in person. So did you and Val do anything specifically to try to encourage more female athletes?
No, not really. I mean, I reached out to a couple of female athletes that were competing, and I'm like, hey, put word out, like get some of your friends, let's do this, or I'm gonna have to combine y'all. And so it's always been a struggle, for me when I put on it for these, my non-sanctioned shows I was putting on. The women division were always kind of lacking, and this one, I was just happy to have a full class. I was at least having enough to have one open class for them. So, and both my novice divisions are full. So, it was a pickup from what it has been, but I could always, I'd love to see more of the women in the open classes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got a question for you. I'm noticing a little trend in the athlete names that I'm seeing here. I see a couple of Yoders in there. So I see Kaylee Yoder.
Yeah,
I saw her at the Battle Axe Showdown. I can't remember. Is she your niece?
Yeah, she's my niece.
Okay. Yep. So she was at the Battle Axe Showdown. I remember meeting her there. And then I have a PJ Yoder. Who is that?
That's my brother.
Okay. And then I also have, who's the other one? Cody Yoder. So it's a family affair here.
Yeah, they all they're all real supportive of my shows, so they always been in all my shows. So when they found out I was doing this one, they went ahead and jumped in it for me.
Dude, that's awesome. So coming from a family where I have 6 sisters, that's pretty cool to have all those brothers, right?
Yeah, for sure. I got
all right. So we've talked about the competition. Any final notes on Pity the Fool? Any last words that you want to give out to the athletes before they head out to Weatherford, Oklahoma?
Y'all, it's gonna be fun competing for this, of course. The hardware,
oh my gosh, that is so cool.
So that's gonna be nice, but no.
Show me the shirts that you were showing me earlier.
Okay. My wife come up with this design. This is the helper shirt. Pretty cool.
Yes, I love the skull with the mohawk.
Yeah, for sure. And then Depth hooked us up when I went to them, and they hooked us up with a cool, because on, of course, April 1st, Pity the Fool, you got to hook them up with Mr. T.
Yes. Those are some good looking shirts.
Yeah, one of my sponsors down here, the shirt company that hooks me up with all my comp shirts, King Thread, they did a real good job on them shirts.
Ooh, tell me about some of your sponsors, please.
Shoot, I got being from a small town, they usually jump in pretty good behind me. So of course the gym, he's donating all the weight, not all the weight, a lot of the weight, most of the weight I have, but the weight I need to bring, he's going to donate. And then all the mats, the 33 stall mats, he's donating them. And then the King Thread, they cut me a deal, when for a sponsorship, they do my shirts, so we just switch it out like that. There's a Fresh Eats. Yeah, this time I'm going to have a Fresh Eats out of Weatherford. It's they make ready-to-go meals. So they'll have a booth set up. So they'll have, for the athletes, they'll have ready-to-go meals like in between events if they want to. Do
the athletes already know what meals are coming out?
No, they haven't. They haven't released that. I don't know what they're going to bring yet. And then Butcher's Wine and Spirits. This guy, he owns a big liquor store and wine store there in Weatherford, and he's a good friend of mine. And anytime I go to him about an event, he's excited about donating or coming and watching. So. And then who else do we have? We have Depth Before the Song. We have we have some people that have nothing to do with lifting, but they just they've always been a sponsor of my shows. And so once they seen it was going bigger, I got Tuff Fire and Safety, which they do fire extinguishers all over Oklahoma. They jumped in. They're from another town just right down the road here. And then Miller's, I have a diner here that jumped in. They're a new store, new restaurant that just opened up. And as soon as he heard, he's like, "What are you doing?" I was ordering my shirts, and he come up behind me. He's like, "What are we donating for, or what are we sponsoring?" Because I was going over my sponsor list, and I told him my show, and he's like, "Oh, throw us in for sure."
Yes.
So he just walked up. He's just a friend of mine, and he was like, "Yeah, for sure, throw us in." So a restaurant here in town that it's really good food that he's one of the sponsors. And then, of course, Revise. I went down to Sherman, Texas this morning.
Yep.
And picked up 3,000 pounds worth of his sandbags. And so
the best source for those sandbags right there, Revise with Robert Spence.
Yeah. Spence hooked me up for sure this time. And then actually we got our corporate sponsor. We only got one corporate sponsor, and it's Badger Infrastructural Solutions. It's a hydrovac company, but the guy that works out, I know he's a buddy of mine that works out at the gym there that we're doing weigh-ins, and he heard about what I was doing, and he was like, dude, we're in, my Badger's in, and they're a big company all over the United States. So they jumped in and was a corporate sponsor just right off the bat.
I don't think you have enough room on a T-shirt to put all those sponsors.
Yeah,
That's Southern hospitality right there, man. I'm so excited that you got so many sponsors and so much help from the community. I was thinking with the fire hydrant one, maybe you potentially your next competition do it like a firefighter theme one, because then you could have those fire hydrants set up everywhere.
Sure.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So this is your first show that you've put together, correct?
First sanctioned show. Yeah. I've
put
5 on, before. And so, yeah, this is my first sanctioned show because I'm Oklahoma's USS rep now.
Okay. So my question is what would be the number one advice that you would give to somebody putting together their first show?
Holding it gym where you don't have to haul 35 stall mats down there and all the weight somewhere where the weight's there. No, man, people don't realize how much work goes into these. So,
correct.
To do it correct, or how I think correct is. I've just copied what I've liked at shows. Like I've competed quite a bit, so I've just tried doing my show what I've liked to do what I like when I compete. So that's what I'm trying to replicate. But my advice would be get you a team. It's harder being a loader than it. Last year I was just a loader at some events, and it's harder doing that than it is competing. So
100%.
Team, and it takes it off of the promoter quite a bit if you have a good loading team and to help you out a bunch.
Yeah, the loading team, the volunteers,
the volunteers
make the difference at competitions 100%. So good. Find a good team to help you navigate putting a show together, because it does take a lot of work. I know there's a lot of athletes that are putting together their first competition this year, like Bubba Simpson's putting together his Valley Strongest, which is looked at the theme, which is so cool. So I'm excited for him. So I've noticed that Oklahoma has been putting a lot of competitions that are selling out. We talked about Circus of Strength. Now we're talking about yours. How far do you see the Oklahoma strongman scene growing? Like, why is there so much potential there?
Well, I think they're getting people in place that love the sport, and then it's just being recognized more. Like, I post stuff all the time, and Jared and Hannah down at Depth post stuff all the time, and it's just I didn't know nothing about it till about strongman in general until 2008. As far as what we do, sanctioned shows like what we do. I knew World's Strongest Men, but I didn't have anything idea this even existed for.
Oh no!
The whole time I was growing up, but so I think just we're just spread more recognition of the sport in general in Oklahoma is what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha. So it's almost like the infrastructure is being laid down in Oklahoma to kind of match what you see over here in Texas.
Yeah.
And also what you see in Illinois, because those are the two biggest states right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Texas is a real big. That's where I went to do my first show.
What was your first show?
The Battle Axe, the very first Battle Axe.
Dude, you destroyed me that day. I was last in I remember getting on the yoke, and you were like, I need it as high as possible because I'm gonna fly through this. And I just look at you and I'm like, man, I'm barely gonna inch this out. And then you just freaking flew. But it was a lot of fun. My favorite was the Hercules hold, because that's the only one I didn't get last place in.
Yeah, I love grip stuff for sure. And I was nervous as can be down there. And then they threw us all together. I didn't know nothing about it, and I just looked it up one day, and I seen that was going on, and they threw us all, if you remember, in together, and we was with Stephen Good and Dominic. We was in with all Big Dom and all them. I was like, man, there ain't no way I can compete with these big guys, but they threw us all in a novice group all together.
Because that's wait, no. We might be talking about two different competitions then, because you competed as a novice?
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about two different ones. I think the grip hold was the second battle axe.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I was there for your first one then.
No, the first one was in 2008. No, 20. I don't know now. Now you got me lost.
No, I know I met you at the second
it was
Battle Axe
20.
Showdown for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We did it the same. I remember the second one. It was the axle for reps.
Yep. At 275.
That was the
Yep.
second one. Yep.
So I'm curious, how cool is it from when you started and some of the names that you've talked about? How do you like seeing all those athletes that you started off with in the novice division and kind of seeing where all of y'all have gone? Because now a lot of y'all have competed in the Arnolds.
Yeah.
Like you've seen 900-pound deadlifts from some of them, like Dominic Creaky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does that feel? And like, how does that motivate you to see all these other guys succeed? Different weight classes, but still, it feels good.
No, yeah, absolutely. You know, I love looking. I have that picture. There's first, second, and third. It's me, Dom. It's Dom, me, and Steven. And I still might hold it over Steven's head forever that I beat him. I couldn't touch him now. You know, now that he's a seasoned athlete. But you know, it was good. It's cool seeing how much we've come along and where we've gone from there. It's awesome to see that. I still have that picture. You know, I keep around of us three.
If there's any way you can send me that picture, because what I'm going to do right when you're talking about beating Steven, I'm just going to put it right on the entire image. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
All right, perfect. So if you don't mind, I kind of want to go to the Arnold's recap. Does that work?
Okay. Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to talk about the emotions of having to go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah. You know,
what was running through your head when you found out it was a tie and it had to go down to a tiebreaker?
I shouldn't have left it up to the judges. I left I missed a lot of lifts that I should have hit that I've hit in training, and everybody that competes know that even though you hit in training, that don't mean nothing if you don't hit it on comp day. And inches for, you know, just basically all your should have, would have, could have. You know, I got like 6 3/4. I just could.
Talking about how you kind of left it up to the judges, how there was multiple events where you kind of left points out there. The one that kind of stands out to me is the circus dumbbell. What happened there? Because you got 0.
Everybody except one athlete got 0.
Yeah, Adam Conti was the only one who got any points out of that. So what happened there? Because I feel like that was the biggest difference maker between the tie.
Well, yeah. I was feeling, I don't know. It's just, I don't like circus dumbbell at all. And so we worked a bunch on it with, Derek worked with me a bunch on it. It wasn't there. I was inches away. If you seen the videos, it was just, I missed my cues. I leaned away from it. You know, I leaned my hips away from it. And I just couldn't press it that day.
What other event do you feel like cost you that first place finish?
For sure, the Ukrainian, you know, that 6, I got like 6 3/4 reps. It just wasn't there. I couldn't push my knees or lock my back out into it. You know, that would have gave me 7 reps to tie for the first place. And then the power stairs, you know, I just dominated. So
yeah,
that would have won it for all. But then the farmers, you know, just rookie mistakes. I was on the farmers. I got 3rd, but when I come back down, I thought I was going so much faster than everybody else. I took just a split second to get before I finished that last deadlift just to catch my breath. And obviously I wasn't fast enough because I got 3rd in that event, but I thought I was blowing it away by a little while. And I was like, oh crud, I better, you know, this is something else.
So it sounds like for a majority of this, it wasn't even a physical thing. It was just a lot of little mental mistakes, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that big of a stay. That was my first time at the Arnold. So
and it won't be your last though, right? You'll be back next year.
I ain't settling on a tiebreaker.
I saw the tiebreaker though. You have to hold the plate, right?
Yeah, it was a 55-pound plate. Yeah.
Were you just shot by then? Like, was your body just?
My traps were smoked. Like,
yeah. Because I
could.
saw you like hold it up for a few seconds, and then you were like, "Nope, it's not there today."
Yeah, I couldn't. Let me see. I don't know how to put this. Yeah, I just wasn't there. That's all I'm going to say right now.
Yeah. Was it a physical thing, or were you kind of mentally, you were just like, I'm
No,
done too?
I was there mentally. Just the stances that we took were different, and we have video that shows that it was different stances, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
I couldn't lock my lats in because my butt and my spine was against the post, and
That does make a difference when you can lean up.
yeah, and so just maybe the wrong stance.
This is the fuel for next year, though.
Oh yeah, 100%. I won't leave it on the table next time.
So for you, what is going to be your focus on developing the best Elijah for the next competition season? Whenever that starts.
I think my static pressure, my static lift, strength, whatever you want to call it. I struggle, with the Viking. I only got, I think, 5 reps, and I think 9 won it. So, and then missing the dumbbell. But pressing's always been kind of like my weak suit, and then I have to scramble to make up points, and then into the moving events. Hopefully, they have moving events so I can make up some points. So, we're really, Derek and I are really working on my just static strength. My shoulder press, mainly my shoulder strength.
Got it. So we're talking about Derek Owens from Battle Axe Barbell.
Yes. Yeah. Derek is a coach of mine. I've been with him for now like 2 years going on, and he's brought me a long ways, so I'm real thankful for him.
Has getting coached by Derek, has that been the catalyst to a lot of like your progress and achievements in strongman? Or is there something else that was the catalyst?
No, I'd say he's, because I've worked out, as ever, just like any little small town since I was in high school playing football. We've always worked out, but just little cues that, I'd say he's the catalyst, because just like little cues that I wouldn't even catch. And he's like, hey, do this, but better like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
It makes a world of a difference, right?
It makes a world of a difference. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, this ain't this hard if you do it right.
Yeah. When you do it efficiently, it changes things. All right. So I got a quick question. For you. This is important because I asked the same question to Isaac Mays. All right. You ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather have the all-time buck record, or would you rather have a strongman world record that never gets broken? Neither gets broken if you get it.
What was the first record?
I saw that you hunt a lot. So would you rather have the all-time buck record, which is I think 208 points or something?
Oh, wow.
Or would you rather have an all-time world strongman record and neither gets broken ever? Like it's yours forever.
Oh, it's strongman for sure.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm a big hunter, but hunting's just luck of the draw. If you're just lucky. If you have the best land in the world, some of them guys that shoot the biggest deer in the world have the best land. That has nothing to do with their ability. Sure, they have a little bit of ability, but
yeah,
to hold a strength record, that is solely on you as an individual. And so, 100%, I'd want the strength record.
So which record specifically, like which one do you feel like I want that to be like, all right, that's Elijah's record?
Probably either farmers or arm over. For some reason, arm over arm pull just sets good with me. Like
you got first place at that event too.
At nationals, last year I got. I was first over every athlete there, and so not just my class, every athlete. I set the record there. So for some reason, arm over arm pull goes with me. So either I'm gonna, settle on something that settles already good with me. So either an arm over arm pull, a quickest time, or a farmer's heaviest weight, because I like farmer's grip, like we talked about.
So for sure, there's no like origin story to like why you're so good at arm over arm.
I don't. We trained it a little bit going into nationals last year, and then I sat down there, and that lady, when we finished it, I've never done an arm over arm pull before then, and that lady that was judging me, she's like, I don't know what just happened, but you smoked it.
All right. That's awesome. So so I've also noticed that you post a lot of hunting content on your Instagram, and I like it because it always seems to be like a bonding experience with your kids. So what role does hunting have when it comes to bonding with your kids?
Oh man, that's good. Because it started naturally with my dad taking me hunting. So I remember we go to Colorado every year and hunt. And
Oh,
so
okay.
it's just like a thing to just the family, the boy, all the got brothers and my dad. And when his dad was alive, he, as soon as you're about 14 and could carry your own gun, you got to in the mountains carry your own gun because it's a lot different. You got to go up there, and that was like your manhood. Not that's when you knew you made it. They would take you to Colorado hunting. So, but it started around Oklahoma. Just hunting here in our home state, and so it's cool getting to see him. How excited, anymore. It don't excite me too much, but I still love hunting. But seeing him is a lot more exciting than shooting one for myself. So seeing him, just progress as a hunter and as a marksman is just as cool to see.
What are some of the things that you want him to take away from these trips?
Well, he don't get to go yet. He's only 11 now. So
oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, he don't get to go to Colorado yet.
So what are some of the things that you've seen him take away from like y'all's like hunting trips or whatever that he wouldn't get from any other kind of experience?
Probably patience, sitting out there in the cold. We're not one of them that sits in the big hunting blinds. We're just out in the open deer stand sitting. So patience is sitting there and freezing to death. He don't like them sometimes.
Do y'all butcher, like, do y'all process the deer yourselves?
Oh yeah, most of the time, because we only do jerky out of the deer. All the deer we shoot, we just do jerky, the whole thing into jerky.
Why?
I don't care for deer meat.
I love that you actually eat it though. That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Well, I'll eat jerky all day long, but just to sit down and grind it up into hamburger or something, it ain't happening.
Gotcha. So I was raised on a farm, so I didn't realize how not normal it was for people here in the States because my family's from Mexico.
Right.
Like I grew up where in Mexico, the little taco restaurants that my family had, we do barbacoa. Like we would butcher pigs and goats, and like we did it together as a family, and we would cook it. And then here in America, though, I would bring people to the farm, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, just we're butchering a goat," and then like knife through the throat, and people are like, "Ah!" So I think it's another level of respect for what you eat. I feel like you're less wasteful too because you see where it comes from.
Yeah, for sure. That's 100%. Yeah, we usually when we get back from Colorado, that's what we do. We get together, as a group, everybody that went hunting, and we get the tables and the knives out and go to work.
The conversations you have while you butcher an animal just have a completely different context when you have a dead animal right there in front of you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Elijah, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm sure you're exhausted right now leading up to a competition, as most promoters are. What are you going to do right after the competition to give yourself a break?
After the comp. Okay, I was about to say, after this phone call, I got to start loading my truck up with weight and kegs.
Yeah, that's why I said after, because I knew you were still going to have stuff to do.
Let's see, after the comp. I don't know. I'm still on my days off, so we'll just hang out. Come Monday, we'll probably just try to get everything back to where it belongs, and I don't know, maybe jump on the motorcycle or something with the wife and take a couple little cruise on it for a while.
Yes, whatever. Like Tyler Purdue from the Clash series, the first thing he did when the competition was over, he literally just took a walk for like I think an hour or 2 hours because he just disappeared.
Yeah,
and he told me, he's like, "Hey, the second the competition's over, I'm gonna disappear for a few hours because y'all need that. Y'all need a reset."
Yeah, you gotta get away from it. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. All right, Elijah, thank you so much. If you can do me a favor, send me the Instagram pages for all your promoters. I'd love to tag them all and put little subtitles on there. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm gonna let you go so you can keep talking. I'm sorry, keep loading and setting up for the competition. All right.
All right. Thanks, Yanni.
All right. Thank you so much for being on. Take care, bud.